Dengan beli voucher lebih murah 20% di tokogame.com aja. Proses instan dan 100% aman. Caranya mudah, download aplikasi Toko Game lalu buka aplikasinya. Pilih game yang ingin kamu top up. Ketik user ID kamu, jangan sampai salah. Pilih jumlah yang ingin kamu top up. Pilih cara pembayaran. Masukkan nomor handphone lalu klik lanjut ke pembayaran. Silahkan lakukan pembayaran agar top up segera masuk.
Cuaca panas, macet-macetan di jalan, capek kerja seharian. Eits, tenang. Semua bisa balik sebentar. Hydro Koko, fix auto nyegerin.
spesial Monte Cui Boba. Seru banget.
Yuk pakai baju sekarang, biar kamu bebas, nggak gitu-gitu aja.
different qualities.
Sorry.
So let it show with no apology.
Pertama di Indonesia, kopi dengan paduan rasa premium oat milk dan Brazilian espresso beans. Sekarang temukan sensasi baru minum kopi yang lebih nikmat. Cafino, upgrade your experience.
Dia langsung hamuk pun.
Nggak tahu.
Odi, welcome Odi.
Atas masih kotor guys.
Sumpah dah.
Oke, udah clear ya.
Udah clear.
Ya.
Nah, kita lanjut.
Yang dapat kunci siapa?
Gua dapat B. Tapi bisa
point upon point on drops. It looks like everybody is going to be comfortable on position. Not anything too crazy, just quite BB down over onto Novo itself. And with a plane path like this, you've got I, maybe Millie.
Whoa, 17, kind of close to each other. 4 a.m.
wait,
hot
what?
dropping T1.
Let's go! This is exactly what we want to see. Confidence, capabilities. Can we see T1 pick up the points? Can we see 4 angry men manage to fight it out at the start? It's going to be rooftop to rooftop.
4 a.m. wants revenge for the way T1 treated them during the circuit stage. They want to keep T1 from getting to that podium to take the trophy. Let's see if T1 has anything to say about it. They've been pretty good in hot drops, but 4 a.m. guns in hands. T1 starting to load up as well. Couple DMRs for Zenith. Could be good to keep 4 a.m. from encroaching the buildings. The T1 has already set in, but you can already see it's kind of a retreat here for T1, trying to keep the sight lines obscured from 4 a.m. 4 a.m. though, hot to trot, they want to keep up.
Shifting around off of this T1, you're in first, and now everybody is gunning for you. Can you navigate the situation? They do shift over into the east, but this is going to really throw off looting patterns, give them a much more difficult situation to navigate the later stages of the game. So with this, while there hasn't been a knock, this is definitely throwing off all of the timings and everything that T1 wants to set up to maneuver into these last Erangel matches.
And it's so important that they get to this vehicle as quickly as possible and they get the heck out of here. There's plenty of looting to be had further east. You know there are no more teams over there. So if you can find just a little bit of breathing room, you might be okay.
The problem with it is the longer that this goes on, 4 angry men are coming. There is a goal in mind, and 4 angry men who's been being cyberbullied all day today finally wants to shift it back into their favor.
Makes a lot of sense to me. 4 a.m. has every right to mess with T1 right now. Again, it was T1 that was harassing them the whole way through. Still though, 4 a.m. was able to fight, to cling, to get their way into these grand finals. Hasn't been going the way they wanted, of course, but still you have an opportunity to play spoiler.
Okay, starting to get more information. Bobo slowly creeping in. HS doesn't have really the angles to work with on anything right now, but T1, while they have this defended point, remember that there is a couple of break lines, and we can see that Zenith and the rest of the guys do keep eyeing this direction. They know that somebody is going to be potentially coming over here. As 4 angry men, if you're going to commit into this, they are going to continue to hound. And T1, you have to be careful. Every bit of loot you pick up has got to be a refocus back in, and there you go. I think that Raining saw it.
This could be huge. Could get that headshot one tap with the M24. Didn't pull the trigger, wanted to keep his position obscure. Not sure 4 a.m. actually saw him. It's pretty hard to see through those fences, through those trees.
Look at this patience.
Just saw Bobo.
Peeks it back up, doesn't want to take the shot yet, feeding the information back over to his teammates. Ian is not playing with the other 3 right now, but with this, look at all of the information that he's gathering off of this. Finally opens up, doesn't connect, but now 4 angry men knows that they've been spotted and has to slow down a bit.
It didn't get the headshot, but that's okay. He's gotten the valuable info on 4 a.m.'s formation, kind of cut off the flank angle that Zepion was trying to sneakily create. Able to stymie that, at least for now. And that's going to force out some heals here, as Raining on the bicycle is going to be just pedaling his way out of this situation. And this, to me, looks like a full-on retreat from T1, looking to head up to the hills of Stalber, potentially.
I mean, you got to give respect. It's ballsy for T1 to just stop off. They got the vehicles. They could have shifted over, maybe gone for some loot in some other locations. They said, no, we're going to control this area. We're not going to get entirely run out of our hometown. Just rotating right next to them is going to be Na'Vi, so they have to be a bit cautious. Raining stretching over here. Could find some friends, but Na'Vi has been on an absolute rampage today, so if they're not careful, they might bite off the head of the dragon that is going to be coming for them.
Reigning turns tail. He's going the other direction. Fortunately, he got to a vehicle in time. You can see the bicycle left on the road. So for Reigning, he isn't going to dust it up. But Ian already pretty far out here, but so is Daytrade.
There is no way that we can see T1 finding any breathing room in the circle for the time being. The regroup now coming in means the fact that we might be able to hear this Belmoth, Ian, unlikely allies for the time being. Is he should be able to start hearing those vehicles at any given moment. Belmoth still looking off in the distance. He's got to be careful. If we see Reigning and the rest of the crew roll right up back behind this one, it could be a massive issue for him. Instead, he just runs down into the rocks. That I don't even know if T1 saw him.
I don't think they did. The real question is Ian going to be able to hear him point? But it is going to be T1 settling in. Nurens is close. How does Daytrade want to play this? Do they want to contest this area? Or are they just going to try to peacefully find a way out? Ian, though, close to Belmoth.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Daytrade's got so much information in the spray. Connecting, and yes, Ian goes down. Belmoth strikes in the end.
That's huge there. Belmoth playing.
Reigning down as well.
Oh, no, Nurens found him. They're trying to get smokes out there, trying to keep T1 in this. But Daytrade is playing spoiler. The consequences of that hot drop are bearing fruit here. 4 a.m. as Daytrade is doing the hard. They're driving Tanadol in. Oh boy. So dangerous right now for T1.
Type has himself a Panzerfaust. He knows the angles of approach, but he cannot find the angle that he wants to defend from. Good flash, gonna stop him in his tracks. Daytrade has all of the momentum in this firefight. Nurens just creeping slowly further and further forward. A stranglehold coming in, and let's not forget about Belmoth. Now starting to come in from the south. Everything for T1 hinging on a firefight. They've just got a couple points back behind it, but Zenith does get a knock on the Tanadol.
That's huge. That's huge for T1. Might open up a little bit of extra space. Has to be careful out that door. Flash at it training. Gonna have to heal back up. Zenith weakened as well, but Flash starting to backpedal. T1 able to at least claim 1 point out of this.
A ton of pressure on the new superstar in Type. Young blood coming into this one, but looks like they are finally finding a way to start to navigate this. Type now stepping down. He is spotted between the two. Nurens gets some shots out, but instead it's going to be Type that steps away.
Yeah, Type there was just in his movement, so no real golden opportunity for Nurens there. Able to scoop by. It's a good grenade. Takes about half damage. Has to backpedal.
Daytrade now having to shift away. Luna Galaxy's also over here pretty close. 4 Angry Men has been paying attention to the kill feed. They know how the looting comes into play. VP also roaming over here. It's a ton of vultures. Everybody is starting to circle around T1.
Everybody knows the position of the leaderboard. Luna's actually taking a fight with VP off the back of this. Type just gonna plant with the Panzer, seeing if he can pounce on any potential opponents. Nurens just continues to hide behind. Gonna pop another energy drink, get the boost, try to get back up to full health, but for now, seems like the battle lines have been drawn, and there we go. We can see Belmoth able to spring the trap. That last shot from Nurens connects. That is disgusting.
Well, with the defense that we see T1 holding on this one, the bit of damage that they got out, that's forced Daytrade away from the angles that maybe could have held back 4 Angry Men. So now Luna Galaxy up on top with some high ground. 4 Angry Men slowly getting closer by. That this is just getting more complicated for T1 to try to navigate, but doing a good job. They've holding out under pressure time and time again so far in this Circle 1.
Well, a lot of teams settling up south of the river, expecting this to shift in that direction. TSM, however, up towards the north, towards Severny, but we want to hear from ALO's TSM, see how they're feeling about today.
Hi guys, I'm standing here with TSM's Alo. That was a crazy Tego, and you played such a crucial role for taking that win. So what are you thinking as we head into the last 2 Erangels of the year?
We're going to be maximizing our points as much as we can on Erangel. It's 2 games, so we're just going to try and have some fun and do the best we can.
Yeah, have fun, pop off. Best of luck to TSM. All right, we're going to go back to the grassy pastures.
1 down for T1 as they are having to hunker down even further. Daytrade continuing the onslaught, stepping in more and more. 4 Angry Men playing off the back of this one. Also, Luna Galaxy continuing their encroachment. This has not yet stopped. Day Trade wants this one. They're getting more aggressive with it, but it's going to be tight. That stops Nuri in his tracks. The pans are popping in his face.
Oh, he's got to be careful, though. He takes a peek up that window, but he saw Day Trade player raining, trying to cover him, trying to see if they can at least secure this point. But Mike out in the open, taken down by Flash.
That is a big knock, raining down with this 4 angry men now starting to get a piece of the action. It's just Zenith, and he is firmly surrounded.
This is dire for T1. Zenith trying to dodge these stuns. Pre-fires, it can't do anything.
It's done.
They're out.
T1 is out, the first team. Freaks, TSM, Expendables, VP, what can you do?
The door has been open. VP, though, already lost a player, and they're trying to get in towards the edge of Yasnaya. The rest of the team's kind of just fanned out towards the southern edge of the circle, other than TSM, who is making the wide wrap around Stalber. Now, Day Trade just going to be able to chill for a little bit, but they're going to be on the edge of the circle, almost certain out of here eventually. Meanwhile, Luna and 4AM starting to dust it up on the hills of Stalber. They're just north of everything. Kind of in a bit of a split, and Luna's trying to kind of navigate their way through, and here goes the Expendables.
Oh, man. These guys rolling right up next to FaZe, a contender. So close to touching the top. Any kills that they can find early would be massive, but this does force the Expendables very close to Eternal Fire, who opts to not fire into this, trying to see if they can pick up the tail end. Do not quite get it just yet. Zepion also did spot out Heaven. That's going to be up in the north. So while we've been watching a lot of the firefighting that's going to be going on over there, the circles have shifted to where they're pretty much centered up just in south of the fields in Yasnaya. That's why we're seeing so many teams run in here, just seeing if they can secure a position for what could be a late-stage win.
Well, if this is a Yasnaya Fields finish, the Expendables have put themselves in a position to potentially get through with yet another win. Twisted Minds just on the edge of the next circle. And like I said, they're making the wrap around Stalber. They're playing this early game safe. They want to try to find some level of comfort into this next zone.
Finally now starting to touch the safe zone. It's just going to be Luke still out in the blue, roaming down the hillside, cutting out, trying to see if they're as quiet as possible. Nobody over here for the time being. Everybody's pretty much caught up in what's going on with the no lean situation. So, a couple casualties that did happen outside of this one, but Luna Galaxy actually leapfrogged over what we saw going on in no lean, shifted into Yasnaya itself. Day Trade popping an emergency pickup, so a lot of counter movements now finally starting to brew out of no lean.
Incredible stuff here in this penultimate game. Who would have thought 4AM wanted revenge, and they got it, and they got it in spades. The absolutely devastating stuff. TSM got to be feeling good, stopping to do a little bit of scouting as best as they can. The Freaks gonna opt to try to get into the Yasnaya forest, get 4 players going, try to make their way further east. Circle very likely to start going in that direction at some point, though. Doesn't necessarily have to hard shift away, and it doesn't. It's just gonna center up right towards Yaz, and the Expendables have to be feeling good about that rotation they made.
Okay, so 4 angry men, the heroes and the villains of this lobby at the same time, taking down T1. Freaks, you have the opportunity to jump the leaderboard and now starting to get into a pretty good position inside the circle. VP just going to be shoot away from this, going to be regrouping. While we did see Day Trade take their emergency pickup, this is pretty field heavy. I'm going to be curious to see where they're going to choose to pop out at. They're just going to go right for the center of it, so we'll have to see if they can manage to make some type of landfall in it. They're going to be rolling right up next to Yaz9. This is going to be very dangerous. There's a lot of people already cemented in, but look, Day Trade manages to find a way to navigate it, at least manage to get their feet on the ground.
Yeah, that was a bit dicey for Day Trade, to say the least. Yes, Belmoff does go down, but Flash and Nurens, the longtime duo for Day Trade, have found a foothold. TSM as well, able to make their way over to where we saw T1 much earlier in this, trying to escape 4AM's clutches, and certainly they did, but to their demise, Na'Vi to the west, 17 making the rotate onto the eastern edge by the Heaven position.
We've got BB that took an emergency pickup. Looks like they're going to be roaming into this one also right in the middle. The Expendables in that Wizard Tower is so strong with the center circle position and looking around through the fields. BB looks like they've got their eyes set on Yasnaya, mirroring the same pattern that we saw Day Trade do just one moment ago. A lot, though, attention being drawn out in other directions, but there's more and more people over here. BB just trying to shift out. A doozy already down. He did at least manage to get close enough to the ground that he could be potentially resible. So BB at least managing to make landfall as well.
So scary with Lukarux with that FAMAS harassing you as you're trying to land inside of the city. Nurin's very, very close to a doozy. Smokes are going to come out for BB team. They're going to try to hold the line, see if they can keep their players all four up going into the later stages of this. And Spyro's going to help out, finds a good headshot. The cleanup, Nurin's had a grenade in hand, and he's going to go down.
Center control of Yasnaya now starting to feel like it's going in BB's favor. Big pickups on the outside of this one. Best of Luck does go down and get flushed near on instantly just whenever he stepped out around that corner. So everything settling down except for Yasnaya itself. Given the fact that so many teams committed in, the rest of the circle is near on entirely empty. Teams with ton of space around them.
Let's see what happens. Flash takes some damage as well. Not nearly as much as his teammate, but trying to just find a way to rat this out. The Freaks have some of the blues to themselves, just to the north of Twisted Minds. Going to be able to control a lot of territory from there. Depending on how far west this next circle goes, they could be very much inside of the circle for some time. Relatively safe initially from this position. Sometimes getting out of here can be rather tricky.
Here's the problem though, if you're the Freaks, if you're the Expendables, you need kills, you need to climb up the... And everybody inside of Yasnaya right now feels like it's highly more favorable for VP. If they can get a big gain here, they can climb in a big way. TSM not going to be inside the next circle. 17, they're not going to be in it either. Petrichor Road, are you going to make the shift into the dips? Are you going to make a committal somewhere else? FaZe already has goals inside of vehicles. They're going to go ahead, start to push in, but a lot of eyes are going to be on them.
This is setting up for a crazy finish. A bunch of our top teams in this current circle. Twisted Minds, Kwangdong Freaks have really powerful positions. TE as well, dead center still in the Yasnaya field. Really in a nice spot. FaZe, if they can clear out this southern edge, working south to north in this field can often be very profitable as well.
Oh, that is a big pickup. Getting gifted right on top of them. Shifts back in, and that almost felt like bait. And you can see the Duck Juice just runs out, grabs it instantly, runs back in. So with all the attention in Yasnaya, I mean, there's a couple of safety positions to still be played, but Petrichor Road looks like they're going to be rolling right up next to Eternal Fire. That's going to be one already down and Chewy.
TSM is the big question in the back of my mind right now. Where do they make their rotation? When do they make their rotation? You're kind of hoping for maybe a fight to kick off somewhere. There's a knock onto Roth. That's on the outside of the eastern edge of the circle. 17 now dusting it up with Petrichor Road as well. Trying to scooch their way into this next circle. Axlef gonna have to send out some smokes. Here we go, TSM. Are they gonna try to capitalize on this knock the Falcons suffered?
Sparking took a ton of damage on the approach, takes it yet again. The lead man in a lot of trouble for TSM, but looks like they at least managed to get down in this lower area that could buy him some space away from Navi's sightlines. But the moment he stops off, he's got to go for the jump out, already taking a ton of damage onto his vehicle, but reinforcements have revived. There's just a bit of a hillside for them to play. Can we see Sparking be resible? This feels like it's going to be really hard. A lot of attention now shifting in. Eternal Fire already lined in. There's nowhere to go. Vehicles now starting to explode. This is a problem for TSM.
That vehicle explosion, though, might offer them a little bit of extra cover towards Yasnaya. Not the end of the world. Sparking potentially resible as well. The Falcons, though, right behind them, eagerly looking westward to see if they can claim some more space, claim some more points, claim a higher position on the leaderboard. Yes, 17 was able to take down Petrichor Road, but lost 2 members along the way. And now EF just going to be sitting in the craters, waiting to see when 17 is going to try to make their... He has to be oh so careful, but Spyro ran out of ammo, couldn't connect with the SKS.
I mean, 3 different teams just dropping bullets on top of TSM. They are hunkering down in the shade of all of the bullets whizzing over their heads. Not comfortable in the slightest. So Falcon's going to be the closest threat to them. But I mean, whenever you've got Navi, VP, VP all taking shots into you, that is so harsh.
It is. It's really, really challenging for TSM. I mean, there wasn't a lot of other great options unless you do something crazy like crash the Falcon. But at this point in the tournament, that is playing with fire. And certainly, I think this was the better of a couple bad options. But the Falcons, of course, they know their position. They're going to line up.
Wrapping him up. Here goes. Look at all the nades raining down on top of him. 1 already down, 2 down. That's going to be pretty good. Sparking the shift, the push coming up from the Falcons. Remember, TSM set up a great trap on the Falcons earlier inside of this one, and now TSM in a ton of trouble due to the Falcons creeping up back behind.
Yeah, Luke 12, the only player left alive. Lil Ghosto going to try to get some good shots in. Takes a headshot from Flood, has to duck down. Xiao Wu, though, able to get the knock onto Roth. And Luke wants points, knows that there's a knock somewhere in that vicinity. Gonna go fishing with the grenade, and he finds Sneakers!
Oh, that is big. Can he make anything else happen out of it? It's going to be now a Virtus Pro having to deal with the consistent threat of 4 angry men who have been a catalyst through the entirety of this game.
And they just need to control the southwestern corner of Yasnaya as best as they can. They could rack in quite a few kills, but here goes FaZe. They're trying to find some open space in the apartments.
And they're going to find it. Man, they purchased that for free. They just snuck by the entirety of this. It's finally going to be Evie getting some damage, but not a knock. This is just such a hard territory to control with the amount of people that are already inside of it. It's just a focus problem. Where do you even look?
This is madness. Madness in Yasnaya, to say the least. 4 a.m., 3 players up. Still could do something in this game. Still could be playing spoiler for yet another squad. Aches left with an absolutely ridiculous spray down there. But then 17 was able to punch right back. Xiao Wu, big plays from him. Zipian, big plays, he gets 2.
These guys aren't done yet. They want more. There's an opportunity to climb up. Day trade already out. Eyes on the new position and climbing the leaderboard slowly and steadily. VP on full-on damage control. How fast can you get over here, 4 angry men? There's just no way to really get into the position to really exploit the work they managed to put out. No! TSM! They get spotted. They go down. It's going to be the Falcons yet again that find them.
Beautiful frag grenades from the Falcons have spelt the doom for TSM. Took a long time, but eventually they were able to finish the job. Now Na'Vi, BB team, dueling it out over some buildings. There's been a bunch of knocks both ways. The HS looking to see if he can scoop in some extra points for his squad. Nope. Grenade gonna bounce outside of the window. Lines up for another. See if he can get it through there. Again, it bounces just up and over. Na'Vi going for the res, is going to pick a couple extra players up. But Doozy gonna bleed out. BB team just down to Phil first, and he's in trouble.
I mean, that was a dangerous peak there. DB, they know that their time is short. If they don't manage to make a big shift off of this, they got to get a knock. They've got to get something. They've got to stop the threat that is Na'Vi, and there is just nothing. This is the entirety of this area is open. They can shift in. 4 angry men are looking at this, but they're not making the push in just yet. The circle does keep Yasnaya in play. The Expendables with a lot of control. Twisted Minds and the Freaks on the outside, though.
And that's going to be absolutely so incredibly difficult for these teams that are outside of the circle. There is the cleanup onto Spyro. Na'Vi rocking and rolling all day, continuing to just steamroll teams.
Okay, you've got to clutch. You've got to make the play. If you're the Freaks, if you're the Expendables, the circle does favor the Expendables position for now. I mean, Twisted Minds, we've talked about this team all year. They have an opportunity in this, but it just feels like they can't find a path. The Expendables just keep cutting them down as they're trying to approach.
Again, it's just so hard to come into this circle because there's going to be so many players in Yaz that are going to have angles on top of you. The Freaks are going to try to make a go now. I don't know where their landing point might be. There's a few hills up ahead.
But they're running right into the line where the Expendables are focused on Twisted. This is the opportunity, but Twisted now with their back duo gets a lot of vision into it. Good shot's going to be coming up from Perfectix. Take down Bean, but there's not too much more that they can get out of it. The tail ender for the Freaks do need to make a move, but Salute is creeping back up behind the duo for Twisted Minds. He has a big moment to pop off in front of this. The distraction is just the other members that are set up in front of Twisted Minds. It's just a shooting gallery as everybody for the Freaks keep going down while Virtus Pro continues to pump out damage.
Salute trying to find his moment to strike. There it is! Example in the back immediately takes damage from Tanvu, from the Expendables. Has to prone it out, has to throw some smokes, trying to cling to life.
Meanwhile, Phil First still over here, still holding together, but Tulans rolls right into the neighborhood. Looks like he's just gonna be sending it right down on top of the Freaks. They want these kills, and they have got to be careful with it, but Tulans wants to make the hero play for his squad. It's him, it's Lou, it's a nade right on top of the Freaks, but they are doing a great job at defending it.
Heaven has got him out of the open, and he's got him down!
Twisted Minds goes down, and the Freaks hold it together.
Just barely. Tanvu finally going to take Salute out on the edge. So the Freaks cling to life, but just barely. The Expendables now can flex their muscles. They can start to peek out from this wizard house just a bit, but they need to keep themselves obscured from Yasnaya. Still too many teams, still too many players to deal with. Na'Vi on the move, on the hunt, trying to wrap in more towards the center of where 4 a.m. is. In the meantime, FaZe has breached VP's compound.
I still just can't get over sending Salute to backstab onto Twisted Motion, sacrificing him while he makes such a big play to get the rest of the squad into point. That is such a hero play for your team. VP, FaZe still stacked up on top of each other. They still got some time before the circle firmly cements, but you can see it is getting dastardly over here. Nobody with any room to work with. Na'Vi slowly creeping up next to 4 Angry Men as well. Blue Zone nades big inside of these buildings.
Dude, Na'Vi, they can come through with a win here. It may come down to that last game where they have an opportunity to do something crazy again at PGC. Gustav, FaZe, inside of VP's buildings, coming from inside VP. How are you going to respond? Corexi looking for the window angle, looking to catch VP off guard just a bit. Hakatori with a FAMAS finds GodV. HS, Zepion up on the second floor, waiting for Na'Vi to come through to see if he can do any damage. Beamy gonna get a spot onto Corexi out at the fence. Vex just right underneath.
Na'Vi up to 107, starting to assault the top. They are just continuing to rain down damage. 10 kills. They are absolutely murdering this lobby today. But is it going to be enough? The Freaks find one. They know that they need every point. They cannot let anybody steal that away. Shots now starting to pop off in that direction. VP, are you going to use this opportunity and exploit it as the circle, the way it lines in? It is going to be an absolute bloodbath leaving Yasnaya.
And now the Freaks' job gets even harder. The circle shifts away again right towards TE. TE firmly aware of the Freaks' position, going to make it as difficult as possible, no doubt about it, because they are right behind the Freaks on the leaderboard. 122, the Vietnamese team, the surprise Vietnamese team. Everybody thought it might be Cerberus, but the Expendables have shown that this is a multi-team region.
I mean, just right up there. Oh, look at the sneaky play coming up from VP. Freaks trying to see if they can at least creep into the circle. Vehicles lined in. They've got some hay bales for cover, but that's all they have. There's a couple of shiftable ways to play this, and yes, that hillside does block up viewpoints for the Expendables, so they can focus it, and maybe they can pick up the kills on everybody that's going to be trying to leave, but you can see any peeks are going to be immediately punished.
Yeah, Clory's just looking for the angle through the windows to see if maybe the KDF players had to peek up towards that direction, but instead it's just them proning down. Now Na'Vi trying to get ahead of all the other teams that are in Yasnaya, trying to establish zone control here, fire control of the exits, and 4AM is going to try to flirt with it.
How big can you go here, Na'Vi? Can you get the biggest game conceivably possible? Soset's going to go down. The Freaks starting to pick up some more points. Now just 1 point back behind. No, they have now passed T1. That is a big situation for them to deal with. If they can continue to hold this one down, it's all about the push coming out from one side of it. How many kills can we see get picked up by everybody that's going to be the stragglers coming up tail into Yasnaya? And it's going to be Beamy again with a big play to take down Gustav.
Gustav was just so tunneled on what was going on to his east. He wasn't expecting a VP player to drop down right on top of him. Still more FaZe clan members to worry about. Although there is going to be another point going over to Virtus Pro. They're up to 120 now. The Freaks trying to just crawl their way into some kind of late game scenario. Delwyn, the Expendables, though, looking like they might be taking another win.
I mean, VP.
Oh!
Oh, it's going to be Tanvu that gets the explosion, gets the knock onto Heaven, and the flush as well. The Freaks in trouble, but it's going to be assistance from the outside. Hakatori, Na'Vi, they done yet. They are hungry and they want more.
As soon as any team tries to take some fire into one direction, they're hit from another. Speaking of, Clory's gets the point.
This is just everyone stacked up on top of each other. We still have VP, we still have FaZe, we still have Na'Vi trying to crawl their way out. Being the last one up for the Freaks, wants to pick up any kills. The Expendables at least have a position inside of the circle, but Vex is going to find out Lucarex get another point for himself. Slowly creeping up back behind TSM for the time being, as now we are in our top 4. TE has 4 up, VP 2, FaZe now out. Freaks still holding on the top of the leaderboard, but it depends on how many kills we can see pop off here at the end.
Oh, Beam going for the spray, gets taken out by Beamy though. Just barely had an opportunity, and that's going to be more points for the Expendables. Duck Juice takes out Ibiza. He is sweeping the edge, but VP not going to give any more points over.
Oh my God, I don't know how that breaks down there at the end. The Expendables, it was all so back and forth. Is it going to be enough? I do not know, but this is absolutely crazy. This PGC will not stop.
Unbelievable. Back-to-back wins for the Expendables. How have they done this? How have they come into Erangel and taken